Okay, next game. We are still looking at the Ponomariov 2009. We're looking at the game now between Carlsen and Ponomariov. I think this might be the first time we look at the Ponomariov game. He was quite good. He's about my age. He got the world champion in this. He won this FIDE knockout world champion when he was very young, like 15 or something like that. But I don't know why. For some reason, it never went very good for him after that. Like as an adult, he's not achieving. He's not achieving anything really in the chess apart from that. People thought, yeah, he's winning this big knockout tournament so young. He's good chances to become a great player. But I don't know if he didn't practice enough or what was the problem, because I don't think he has any real. I don't think he had any real successes after that, and for a while he was low 2700, but now I think he's like 26 or low 26, or he might even have given up playing professionally now when he's in his 40s. But as we will see, he is playing interesting chess and a nice opening here against Magnus, so it will become one of my favorite openings. It's the Knight of Sicilian. Magnus going for this English attack, bishop e3 and f3 and castling long. So here's of course his big choice for black. Magnus, he played this against Leku in this tournament, which there is some line that goes something like this. And what I have played the most is this move. And this is very complicated. The newest way to play here, it's not really new now, but it's maybe new first like 20 years, is that black often keeps the king in the center and play with h5 to stop white's expansion on the king side. So that's an interesting way to play if you don't want to play the super analyzed main lines in that happens if you, for example, go this one. But this kind of setup against the Donidov always gives very, very fun games. Okay, so this is okay. So Queen E1, it was not liked by the computer, not 95 either. Apparently, this is probably some kind of theory. Probably. Let's see what happens. This is typical way to play, but black is not really ready. Looks like black is not really ready for it. Yeah, so when black should probably go for that if black allows this one and not playing a3, I think. Let's see what happens. It's okay, so queen e1 is not. I don't really see the point of queen e1, to be fair. I don't see the point at all. And again, b4 is correct. And again, a3. If computer likes a3, you're not supposed to move the pawn like this because it's just easier for black to open the queen side. But the computer is concrete and realize that it wins so much time that it's worth it to play a3. And now he does this one. So I guess now we see the point of queen d2. If it was here, or off queen e1, if it was still on d2, then this comes with tempo, of course. But he does it anyway. And Magnus gives up this bishop. I think this is a very interesting decision because it's his good bishop, because he has the bishops here. And in these kind of openings, there is a strategy called the dark square strategy. It can happen in many openings like Najdorf Dragon, also King's Indian, Benoni, and if black gets the grip on the dark square, it can be devastating for white. So there is a big risk with the move that Magnus played, knight f4, that in the long run black can get grip on the dark squares, but of course, like, it just looks passive even if the computer likes it. And this works tactically. Of course you have to think what's happening after like e5. But then you go here, queen is under attack, has to take, and if he takes, then yeah, this is like tall style sacrifice here. Apparently white has enough play here. Okay, yeah, he can't castle because takes and takes, so it's a bit hard for black to get out here. Don't know if Magnus must have seen that when he played like this, because e5 fork is just such an obvious threat here. But and Ponomariov, he believed Carlsen that e5 doesn't work, so he took here and he moved the queen again. Yeah, that doesn't look right. Looks right to go here and maybe castle next. But it's, yeah, I guess it's fine. So the reason why the computer doesn't like it, it's because he has the chance to get out his bishop, and there might be a sacrifice on e6 after that. For example, looks like it's already quite dangerous. It seems, if I look at the variation, this one he can play like this, and white is already having enough play for a piece here, because black is very underdeveloped, and apparently e5 takes queen b3, something like this is also good for white according to the computer. So this, yeah, it was very important to control this square apparently. So white is already winning here, but of course not so easy to see how. But all white's pieces are now attacking e6, so he will for sure sacrifice here next move. So for example, computer thinks this is good, then he would take. Yeah, it looks like white has more than compensation for the piece here. Computer also think it's winning for white, but it was the best for black to try to hold that. After takes, after d5 he take, and the plan here was knight bishop d6 to get a threat on the f4 knight. This is a check if he takes it, but now he sacrifices. And still black cannot castle because obviously there is this check then and winning the rook. So he plays this. Okay, g5 was correct here. Like, why can't he take it? Let's see. Okay, and now this one. Interesting. Okay, and then knight f5 next move. I don't really see why he has to play g5 before queen d3, so let's see what happened. Yeah, of course, because he can castle here. Like, castling here is that's just not an option. And I guess if he play g5 here, then of course he does not take. He does something else here. But yeah, computer likes this for white too. It's, yeah, black is playing with his pieces on his 8 rank. Okay, so this was a big blunder by Magnus here. He should have done g5 first anyway. It's logical to maybe sacrifice a pawn here, something like, let's just see how it goes, something like this, and then a rook here. It's just look devastating attack. Rook here and the knight here looks like game over. So he made a blunder and let Ruslan defend. But black blunders again. Best way to defend was this. If something like this. Okay, so you can always, the point of king h8 is that he can defend like this and put the knight here. Okay, and this is defendable for black apparently. So let's see how Magnus won after this. And now g5. Yeah, I should have done that, the previous move. So why can't he move here? Okay, he needed to have the rook here defending, because this is... Okay, yeah, because then he could have taken that rook, but he can't now. So now it's 2 big threats here with knight h5 and stuff like that. Knight h6 and stuff like that. Okay, but Ruslan play here. Magnus took queen here, threatening the rook. Why not this? Okay, it's probably because such a pawn blocks the rook. So sometimes, often black doesn't want to take it. It's like blocking, and the black king is safer with the pawn here that he can hide behind. Or he can hide in front of the pawn. Okay, still this rook is threatened. Okay, and here he finds a beautiful move, best according to the computer, here. And if he takes... Okay, he went into a mate here with king f8. If he moved here, it takes here. Now it threatens to give a queen, so he has to do that. And here, don't do this one, because you get checkmated yourself here, because you don't have any breathing room for the king. But this one is good. And not this, and checkmate. That would have been a nice way to finish the game. And this also. This was a beautiful way to finish the game. Look here. Perfect fork. Like, this is a fork for the ages. Because only move is here, and then he forks the rook also. So that was a bit unlucky that Magnus didn't get to play that line. But instead he went into a forced mate here after queen d5. But yeah, I have to look at this one again. That's just a beautiful line here. This one. Sack the queen. Yeah, beautiful play by Magnus. Next tournament, which I won't cover, but I will say that he participated in the World Blitz Championship, which he won, and I think this is probably Magnus' first World Championship title, at least when he's an adult. I don't know if he got... I don't think he won World Championship for boys, or if he did win World Championship for juniors. I don't think so, actually. We looked at a few times where he didn't win when he played World Championship for boys. But now this first probably first World Champion tournament that Magnus won in great style here. 31 out of 42 points, and you can see all the world elite is playing here. And something that's also very interesting, and it has been so for that Magnus, he's the by far best player in slow chess, but he's even more dominant in rapid and speed chess. So there was a case where I think it was against Karjakin when they played the World Championship match. It was in the last game there. I think it was against Karjakin. Then Magnus was like 2 pawn up and had a winning position, but he offered a draw to tie the match, and of course Karjakin accepted, and every commentator was like, why, he's up 2 pawns, like he's clearly winning, why is he offering a draw and going to the speed chess tiebreaker instead? And Magnus, he said, I think that even if I have a winning position in a slow game against Karjakin, then it's like maybe 90% that he wins that game, but in the speed chess playoff it's like 95% that he would win it. So he made like a cold calculating move there that surprised everyone, and we can see like why Magnus gained that confidence. He not only is he number one here, but he was also often on servers like ICC, which was the dominant server. This because chess command Lichess was not programmed yet, so they played on a server called as ICC, and Magnus had an own account, and he also sometimes borrowed, there has been like rumors that he borrowed account from Peter Nielsen, his second, and sometimes play on that one, because people thought like, who can Peter Nielsen be so good at chess? Peter Nielsen, it's a 2600 player from Denmark that's famous for being Anand second and also Magnus second, a good opening specialist and a good trainer and second to motivate his guys. So but he had one big rival there, and that's a player that I didn't play this, but he will be Magnus' rival in the internet blitz chess, like hegemonical struggle, who's the best internet blitz player, and it's Hikaru Nakamura from USA, who is now a famous streamer. So and also I'm recording this soon, something that I will watch soon, the final of the Chess.com World Speed Chess Championship. It's a blitz tournament with lots of prizes, like hundreds of thousands of dollars in prizes, and it's the final today between Magnus Carlsen and Alireza Firouzja, and they are playing today. Magnus defeated Hans Niemann in the semifinal, and Hikaru was defeated by Alireza Firouzja. So it will be an interesting game there. Magnus he said that he thought like Alireza would have potential to become a world champion in chess, but he still seems to be very talented in blitz, but it looks like he doesn't have such an training ethics that you might need to become the world chess champion. So He had the chances, but then of course Ding Liren from China won that tournament instead. Okay, that's a long rant here. So after the World Blitz Championship, next tournament that Magnus plays is another Blitz tournament, and then we go to the London Chess Classic, and that will be next video. Will be after I've analyzed these games. I will see. I will see what games we will look at that from the London Chess Classic. See you then.